Bali is already one of our country's favourite holiday destinations, but it's about to get some steep competition. A bold new plan for the creation of 10 new resorts across Indonesia's islands is underway. Guess who's funding it?
Oh, look, Bali's the great all-rounder. Great locations, great beaches, great restaurants, bars, but also it's at a great affordable rate and it suits everybody.
Get ready, our love affair with our tropical northern neighbour is about to get even steamier. Pristine beaches, glamorous resorts, wildlife experiences and new cultural frontiers. It's a grand plan set to reinvigorate Indonesian tourism and bring even more Aussies to their shores. The only problem is your taxpayer dollars could be funding it.
Look, I'm not very happy about this at all.
It's probably better places we could spend it in Australia, absolutely.
The federal government has committed to providing funding through the World Bank for the creation of 10 new Balis. After the success of Bali itself, these 10 new sites have been earmarked as Indonesia's next tourist hotspots. They're already slices of paradise, they just need the infrastructure to support the masses. There's Lake Toba in North Sumatra, a lake twice the size of Singapore at the foot of a supervolcano that's been dormant for more than 70,000 years. There's Borobudur in central Java, renowned for one of the greatest Buddhist monuments in the world, a temple built in the 9th century. And there's Mandalika in Lombok. With its breathtaking coastline and already popular with international tourists, it's considered to have all the features to make it a must-see destination. In fact, $3 billion of infrastructure has been dedicated to the Mandalika project, including the construction of more than 10,500 hotel rooms, a theme park and a solar power plant.
Lombok is the obvious one that will get up first of these 10 new Balis because of its proximity to Bali and also because from all that Bali experience, many Australians already are very familiar with Lombok, so it makes sense. That's only $200.
Co-founder of Australian Traveller, Quinton Long, is right behind the ambitious idea of creating 10 new Balis.
Obviously, the more Indonesia is modernised and the more Indonesia industry develops, the better for Australia in several ways. First and foremost, a wealthy neighbour to our north will help our local industry as well. Both from an investment point of view, Australian companies can invest in these new locations, but also as holiday makers, we'll also enjoy the benefits of that as well.
Thanks to Bali, Indonesia is already our #1 overseas holiday destination. So there are those who are asking, why are we not taking this money and instead investing it into domestic tourism?
I have never been to Bali. I have no intentions of ever going to Bali. I think there's too many beautiful tourist destinations in Australia that I'd go to well before I would ever visit Bali.
One Nation Senator Pauline Hanson is furious that taxpayer dollars could be funding this new venture.
Last year, Australians injected $1.8 billion into the Indonesian economy with tourism. I think we poured enough money into Indonesia, and I think it's remiss of this government to actually be, worried about Indonesia and their 10 Bali resorts and pouring all this money into it and us going guarantor.
A draft document from the World Bank indicates the Indonesian government's desire to increase tourism from 4% to 20% of their GDP in a 5-year period, and to boost international arrivals from 9 million to 20 million people.
The Australian people have an exceptional goodwill when it comes towards, helping out those that need a bit of a leg up. But I really question how far that goodwill extends when we start to see our federal government using our tax dollars to effectively give advantage to an industry when we're trying really hard to compete against.
Liz Innes is the mayor of Eurobodalla Shire Council, a coastal area in southern New South Wales, which covers areas like Narooma, Moruya and Batemans Bay.
The best features about Eurobodalla Shire are obviously that it is relatively unspoilt. So, we've got beautiful, pristine beaches, we've got an incredible food industry, we have got one of the best world-class zoos in our local area, which is Mogo Zoo.
tourism is the biggest industry in the region, and instead of handing over potential Australian money to the Indonesians, Liz has a long list of where it could be better spent in her neck of the woods.
You know, I'm thinking water parks, I'm thinking we could see some substantial investment in some of the hotels and things that we have.
We've got such a broad variety of destinations that we should be yelling out from the top of the Ayers Rock to tell people to come and visit us.
The Kimberley and Darwin is fantastic. Cairns, Port Douglas are beautiful places to go. So yeah, our own outback's fantastic.
Our tourism industry is flagging. We've got a lot of problems here. We need the money here in Australia.
But there's a reason we love Bali. Whether it's for the cheap flights and cheap drinks, or to have a plunge pool all to ourselves, there's no question that even if a handful of these 10 proposed sites get up, Australians will flock to them.
Bali is not just for bogans. It's the height of snobbery to say only bogans go to Bali. But they will apply many of the lessons they've learned in Bali to these 10 new hotspots, and they will probably develop them in a very different way, which is what we need.
You can read the full statement from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade about that funding on our website.